Hey guys, it's DC, and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary, where all soap lovers are welcome, guys. This is my Days of Our Lives week in review, guys. The Terrible Twist. You don't notice a lot of people when they do reviews, they start with like the little storylines and they get to the big ones. I just start with the bigger one from the gate, right? Clyde Weston is the killer, guys. This was a very terrible twist. It's so anticlimactic for me. I just have no words. It feels lazy. It feels very lazy. It's not bad, but it feels lazy. It feels like lazy writing. Because what reason would Clyde have to kill Abigail? And is that reason enough that we're invested and we believe it and it makes sense and like okay? Because you just got out of prison. You don't think you would just keep your nose clean for a little bit? Like you just got, did he get pardoned? No, he didn't get pardoned. He just got out. But it feels lazy. Craig would have been a better option. And I understand, like, Craig would have been better. I would have accepted that better. I mean, maybe with Ben no longer on, they just don't see a need for Clyde, like he serves no purpose anymore on the show. I don't know. This is what I believe. I'm noticing from Days, because I thought once we got to Peacock, things would just edge right up. And someone brought up to me that Days is filmed 6 months in advance, or around that much time period in advance. And I realized something, right? This is what I believe. I believe that them bringing Days to Peacock this decision was only done a couple of months ago. A couple of months ago, this was done, this decision. So it wasn't planned. I don't think it was planned more than 3 months in advance. That's what I would say. I don't think it was, which is why I think the decision to then have them pay for Beyond Salem 2 is what happened. I mean, this is like building, but I think because they still had another year left in their contract with NBC. They still had another year left. So I don't think this was planned out so far out in advance, right? Because I got a feeling we won't see what the writing for Days will truly like on Peacock till maybe November, December. This is what I feel. And so I feel like it was still intended for it to be on TV at this time, which is why there's certain things I haven't seen the edginess yet. I haven't seen, like the stuff we see on Beyond Salem, I haven't seen that yet on this show. And that's what I was kind of expecting. Not so much profanity or anything like that, but just difference. I haven't seen that just yet. And so that tells me, my inference is, what we're seeing right now was still intended to be on network TV. Or in the event that they couldn't get it to Peacock that quickly or in that time, it would still be suitable enough for network TV. So that's why I feel the Peacock stuff, we're not gonna really see till November, December. That's my take at this point. This writing was so lazy. It was so lazy for them to make Clyde the killer. I had honestly thought that Philip Kiriakis was going to be the killer. And I know I've come up with that theory, but then when they kept mentioning his name throughout the week, and then throughout the trial with, not trial, but the hearing with Brady and Kristen, Roman had to spill the beans. I'm going to get to him in a minute. Simp Roman. I'm going to get to him in a minute. I'm so disgusted with him. I'm going to get to him in a minute. But Kate made a comment that, okay, now that if they bring that out there in the hearing, now the FBI has to go look for Philip. And I was like, okay, so Philip is gonna come back to the canvas. To me, I thought it was him because his he has the same DNA as Lucas. He has access to Titan Industries, and he would want to get back Chloe and Brady, who were also on the list. And so maybe he was framing Craig. I don't know. To me, I just thought that that's where it was going. That's what I thought. The fact that it's Clyde feels like such a letdown. It feels like such a letdown. It's like, this is the best y'all brought up. This is the best y'all did. Which also tells me that, I mean, granted, when they kill off a character, that's never really planned. I think it's like a firing decision. So those are never planned, but it's like they really were in a scramble trying to figure out how they were going to do this. Because, of course, whoever's the killer has to go off screen, or something like that. So Clyde was easy scapegoat for that storyline. Let's talk about Orpheus. This whole Roman, aka John, kill his precious Rebecca vendetta storyline, it's just getting so tired that I wish the writers would hang it up. Like, at this point, it's like, are you gonna kill them or what? Are you gonna kill John and Roman, kill their wives, kill their family? Are you gonna kill them or what at this point? Like, you just got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? For doing some stupid, dumb shit to them before. Like, it just... Days usually has good setups for the future, for their writing. This is not one of them. It's not. You know? I know there was a time that Roman had blackmailed Marlena into being with him and raising his kids and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
I didn't mean that the way it sounded.
Well, I'll leave you two alone to get acquainted. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. You have so much in common.
Are you involved in all this?
My sister and I were very close. Closer than most sisters. And I heard that Roman Brady had murdered her.
He didn't kill her. It was an accident. A bullet went astray during an ISA operation.
That bullet cost me my sister. When I heard about the shooting, that's all I could think about. My brother-in-law, all he could think about was revenge. We were both so bitter then.
Do you still feel that way?
No. Not now that I know Roman. He's a good man. He never intended to kill my sister. It was a terrible, unavoidable accident. And I feel terrible for all the pain I've caused him.
When a writer writes storylines that sets up the future for the show and for other storylines. And I talked about this a little bit in my GH video, and I said I'll go more in depth on it on this video because it's more days related. But once again, One Life to Live, Vicky's Altars, was one of the best writing setups on One Life to Live, if you asked me. And they did it right. Because Vicky did it because her father molested her. Because here's the thing with One Life to Live, and I'm also talking about One Life to Live in my videos. One Life to Live was meant to be a diversity soap. That's why Agnes Nixon wrote it. She said she was tired of the typical white Anglo-Saxon protagonist. However, I think all Agnes Nixon knew, she also had to play the game. So she had to make sure the character was white Anglo-Saxon so the show could be pitched and it could be successful while then having other diverse characters around. And I think the original intention was maybe, even though it was centered around Victoria Lord and the Banner and the newspaper, that eventually those other diverse characters will come to the forefront. But I think after a while she realized, hey, this Vicky character, I love it, I love her, I love what it's doing, let's keep her at the forefront. That's what I think happened. But getting back to Vicky's Altars, it set the stage for the future. Vicky was messed up by her father, Victor. She locked Dorian in the secret room. She had Natalie with her other alternate personality, forgot that she had twins. And so apparently at that time was that she had a child with Mitch Lawrence when she was Nikki Smith or whatever. Nikki Smith pushed Ben Davidson out the window. And then her whole identity for the longest time was being Vicky Davidson, right? At that time. And Days does the same thing. Like, okay, even with Days, when they coined Stefano as the Phoenix, and this whole mystery with his vendetta with the Bradys. Like, I don't know if you guys remember 2007 when they had the whole Brady versus Damaris vendetta storyline. And that was one of the best things of the summer.
Days of our lives if Sammy and Lucas find out who's the daddy.
I really wish these babies were yours.
This week,
I'm going to be a father.
congratulations! The biggest story of the summer.
I am not going to let EJ raise these kids.
Those children must be raised as Damaris.
Days of our lives.
Like, it literally set the stage. So when John was finally revealed to be a Damaris after all this time, I was like, yes! Just for them to reverse it years later. That was just so stupid. But with Stefano being the Phoenix, Stefano could never die. And the last scene that Joseph Moscalo had on Days, I think it was like Shane had a Stefano mask or Stefano had a Shane mask, and then it was in the jail, so it was kind of like the illusion that Stefano would forever be on the run. And that was Joseph Moscalo's last scene because unfortunately his health was failing. But it was a good way for Stefano to go out. But I think later down the line they really killed him off on the show. But Stefano was a Phoenix, so the Phoenix could never die. And I talked about this in the GH video a little bit, is that when they had Stefan O. Demira, who's not back, and I feel like now that Stefan O. Demira is back, it's also another way of saying Stefano is back. Stefano is reincarnated, right? And that was because Stefano can only be reincarnated. He was in the chip and he was in the microchip in Steve's brain back in 2020. He hasn't died. Or when he came back as Renee Dumont in that form, when Sarah thought she was Renee Dumont, I remember her saying when they found her on the island, and she was just like, oh, I'm just like my father. I'm the Phoenix. I can never die. And my father lives in me. You know? And I was like, you see? You see? And I feel like that was a writer's way of nudging us, saying like, hey, like, Stefano can't die. He's the Phoenix. We're still going to continue with that. And they set the stage well. They set the stage very well for the DiMeras as a family, because now their patriarch, they never had a matriarch, but their patriarch is gone. They set the stage well with the writing for the DiMeras. So well, now we can see how the rest of them and their lives unfold, and then the nods to history that they also have as well. But that's what good storyline writing does. That's what, like, even, okay, I'm gonna go into Gabby. I was going to listen later, but I'm gonna go into Gabby really quickly. Gabby's identity for the past 4 years was pretty much being Stefan's widow, the widow DiMera. That's probably what I should have called this instead. But everything that Gabby did for the past few years, yes, it was for her daughter and her family, but a lot of it was based off of her identity being Stefan's widow. So now I'm kind of interested to see with the writing, how things unfold now that she's really no longer a widow now. So now it's posing the question to us, who is Gabby? Who is Gabby DiMera? Or Gabby Shin at this point, right? Who is she? Because it's almost like One Life to Live when Ben Davidson died. Vicky kept his last name, and I'm not gonna say Vicky's whole identity at that point was based on being his widow, but a lot of stuff that stemmed from that, from the aftermath. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's good soap writing. That's important. If we look at Ava Vitale killed Grandpa Sean Brady, right, in the plane crash. She allowed the plane to go down, and which I feel like that storyline is going to the pits because they reversed the whole John thing, and I feel like now the writers act like they just never happened, which just pisses me off. Because if they kept John as a DiMera, there's so many things that could keep continuing from that point forward. It's okay. And another connection here is when John was coined as the Pawn. Remember when he had like the whole the bandages on his face and everything and stuff like that, and John was the Pawn.
You awake? Look, after breakfast, they're going to start working out on your reorientation again. I hope you're up to it. You think you're up to it? Can't you understand me at all? This is it. This is right where it happened. I remember.
Stefano's pawn, and Stefano had this obsession with John. He had this obsession with him. So when it was revealed that John was Stefano's brother, that was a good twist in my eyes. That it made everything make sense. And I never thought the writers would even go that route, but it made everything make sense. You know, but I don't know. I guess they didn't want to do it for whatever reason. I don't know. But you know, Gabby's whole identity for the past year was being the widow DiMera. And Gabby, to me, like I said, she's like a young Dorian Lord or like a Tina Lord even. Kind of more, I think probably more so on the Tina Lord side for right now. You know? So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out with Gabby. And see, this is the thing with Gabby. Gabby really doesn't have a lot of family ties on canvas. She doesn't have a lot of that, but she holds her own as a character. And I said this on the GH review with Liz. You know, Liz has no family. It's how you write for the character. If you write for the character well, they can really hold their own on canvas without really having that many ties. Her ties to Sonny and Will, which, speaking of, she never even went by to go see Sonny in the hospital. Damn. That's your baby daddy. You never went by to go, I mean, technically it's Will, but, you know, but Sonny is as well. So it's like she didn't even go by to see Sonny. I was like, damn. I want to talk about Kate and Roman real quick, because the case hearing what Rachel and Kristen bothered me. I feel like Kristen should have gotten custody. I really do. Kristen is doing it for the selfish reasons, but she deserves custody of her daughter. Victor Kiriakis robbed her from where she's at right now. It's Victor Kiriakis' fault that Kristen got to this point. And it's interesting because Eileen Davidson's Kristen and Stacey Heidi's Kristen, they're just played so differently, right? Eileen Davidson's Kristen, her best friend is Jennifer Horton. Stacey Heidi's Kristen's, her best friend is Lonnie, right? And maybe that's because of the chemistry, right? That could have something to do with it. I remember listening to an interview where they said for the cast of How to Get Away with Murder, they had them all meet up prior to filming so that the chemistry on screen would translate, right? So Kristen, I wanted Kristen to win that case. I felt like Kristen deserved it. I really did. And then what I didn't like is how Roman was like, I have to go tell the truth. The child's life depends on it. Like, it's not a murder trial, Roman. It's a custody case. And Kate told you this in confidence, which I knew she was going to regret that. Like, Roman is such a simp. I see why Marlena left you for John. I see why. You're not a real one. You're not a real one. Marlena needed a real man. That was not you, Roman. I'm so mean for that comment, but golly, have her back. God damn. I have to go tell the truth. Either you say it or I will. And then he gave her the choice at the end, like, I'll let you decide. It's your decision. And I was like, it better be her decision. What the hell? She trusted you. That's her son. And not only that, Roman has kids with Kate. He has Rex and Cassie with Kate. So you gonna sell your kids on the river too? God damn. Roman is such a simp. The child's life depends on it. Now here's the thing. You see, if that was Andre Demare, he would have had Kate's back. Granted, he would have blackmailed Kate. Because if you knew that Philip was like, Andre Demare would have had that in his back pocket for a rainy day. You know what I mean? He would have had that in his back pocket for a rainy day. He would have blackmailed Kate. But he wouldn't have been so enticing to be like, I gotta go spill the beans. That's not their style. Roman is not Kate's style. He's not. He can't hang with the cool kids. Can't. Alright? Kate to me needs to find somebody else. That's how I feel about Roman. That's how I feel about it. I couldn't imagine if I was with someone and they did that to me, or that was their inclination that they had to, like, I guess it's honorable, but like, this is my son. What the hell? This isn't just anybody. And at this point, Kate and Victor did the right thing by declaring that Philip wasn't dead or something like that, or that Brady didn't do it to clear him. And then that was it. And then they could keep him where he was at. So my problem issue that was with Roman is like, you should probably discern when it was a time to even say that. There wasn't no murder trial. It was a custody case hearing. And if Kristen decided to bring that up, she decided to bring that up. And honestly, it was inappropriate. This is not real life, it's a soap. But it was really inappropriate for the judge to accept that evidence from Chloe. It was really actually inappropriate for her to do that. Yeah. This is a soap. We're gonna go ahead and leave it on. This is a soap. I want to go into Sonny and Alex. Before I start with Sonny and Alex, I don't know if this is just me, but do you guys ever feel like Chad is more Sonny's husband than Will is? Is that just me that feels that way sometimes? Because I just feel like, and that's not me sexualizing their relationship. A straight man and a gay man can have a completely platonic relationship. I'm not sexualizing it. But I just feel like Chad cares more about Sonny than Will does at times, Because Will's just sitting there waiting, yeah, we don't know what happened to Sonny, yeah, Clyde Weston was here, yeah, why don't you say so? Like, he's just chilling casually. And I get it, you're trying to be there for your husband, you're just trying to stay calm, I don't know. But it's just like, you're a reporter too. I didn't see that drive in Will to want to know who stabbed his husband. And I guess, obviously, Chad wanted to know because of Abby, but I feel like, even if Abigail didn't die, Chad would have been committed to finding out who stabbed Sonny, right? And that's why I feel like sometimes Chad is more Sonny's husband than Will is. Will just be chilling and so casual about everything. I don't get it. And I know Chad is passionate. And I also understand that not every character on canvas can be passionate like that. You have to have different ranges. I get that. But my God, Will is too casual about things. That bothers me. That kind of bothers me. Will is too casual about things. He's way too casual about things, if you ask me. I mean, your husband just got stabbed and you're just sitting out there. You want a coffee? You want a coffee? Anyways, let me just move on, guys. I'm just gonna move on here. I'm just gonna move on here. It's just like way too casual here. Way too casual. I wanted to add in a point really quick on the Stefano thing before I go more further with Sonny and his brother. What made Stefano a really good character and a great villain was not only that he was a good villain that could reincarnate, come back from the dead, because all villains did that. Stefano had an entourage, right? Stefano came in as kind of like this mafioso thing, kind of back in the 70s, 80s, but he was from Italy. But there was like so many different layers to Stefano. He lived in New Orleans at one point in time. He had a mad scientist, Dr. Rawl. He had Bart, who was like his hitman. It's like, or something like that, right? He had all these, he had Celeste, his psychic, his spiritual advisor. He had all these people around him. He rolled 10 toes deep with an entourage. That's how Stefano was. He rolled 10 toes deep with an entourage. And Celeste, Celeste is the thing with Celeste. And I want to touch on this very quickly. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to touch on this very quickly with Celeste. And I didn't realize this. Well, one funny thing I didn't realize Celeste was until it was brought up when Johnny was doing the Devil Made Me Do It movie deal with T.R. Coates at the time, and Chanel was gonna play Celeste. I didn't know Celeste's accent was New Orleans. I thought it was British. I didn't know it was supposed to be like a New Orleans. I did not know that. I didn't know. But anyways, Stefano wrote 10 Toes Deep with the entourage, with Celeste being part of it. And I think with Celeste, it wasn't so much that she believed in Stefano or was loyal to him, but obviously because she had Lexi, it's almost like keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's why she stayed 10 toes deep around Stefano and around him all the time and all that jazz, right? And obviously with Judge Madeline Woods, who was Chad's mom, she rode 10 toes deep with Stefano because she was in Stefano's pocket. That's how Stefano was able to kind of get like, well, that was a storyline I think they pushed at the time, was that's how she was able to, Stefano was able to get off on some of the cases and stuff like that because of Chad's mom, Madeline Woods. But even with Celeste, they had all these, like, I wouldn't even say gimmicks surrounding Stefano, but it was like, okay, Susan Banks and the Kristen thing with the teeth, and Dr. Rolf, the mad scientist, Bart, Celeste for her psychic visions, and then Stefano dressing up as Elvis, and that's how we have Elvis DeMera Jr., EJ. And there was all these things I think that made him one of the best villains of all time. Because, and then one of the best characters in soaps of all time, if you ask me, because it's just like they wrote so well for him. Like, you can tell the writers constantly were always putting thought into Stefano and how he was and all this other stuff. And then when they had the Brady DeMere reveal, when supposedly John was his brother, and that, you know, that's why he wanted to control John, and his father died of a broken heart because the Bradys didn't want Colleen Brady with Santo DeMera, which was Stefano's father. And, you know, Stefano was the seventh son of the seventh son of the seventh son. And funny enough, Stefano now, because of Stefano DeMera, has 7 sons. There's Peter Blake, EJ, Chad, Tony, Andre, Jake, and Stefan. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Let's go from the bios. Biological sons. Chad, EJ, Andre, Jake, Stefan, Benji, and I want to say Tony, even though Tony's not bio. I want to say Tony. So Tony would be the 7th son. Well, technically, Stefan O'Demir is the 7th son of the 7th son. So, anyways, that's just a little quick tangent I'm going off. So let's get back to Sonny. I want to go back to Sonny here. Talk more about him and Alex. I actually really like this storyline. It's good to have a good sibling rivalry storyline, and I think this works very well with Sonny and Alex. And I like that how Sonny finally found out that Alex was behind the LLC thing. And I'm kind of interested. You see, and this is a thing too. They're giving Sonny actually really good storylines. Zach Tinder is killing it as Sonny right now. He is killing it as Sonny. Him and Katie McLean, who plays Jennifer, to me are the performers of the week on the show. Zach Tinder is killing it. It's just, it's something outside of his relationship with Will. And I know why they're doing that also right now, because Chandler Massey is not on the show, and I think in order to break Sonny and Will up, they would need Chandler there for more of an involved storyline for it to happen. Unless they want to bring back Guy Wilson as Will, which I don't know if Guy Wilson's Will would have chemistry with this Sonny. But they're both the recasts, Will and Sonny, so that'll be interesting. Just like at one point in time, Days had both recast Jennifer and Jack. So, yeah. And speaking of Jennifer, the pill storyline, it's very realistic for me. Something's gonna go down next week because she's gonna be in the car. And when Gwen was just like, I'm gonna go fetch for Jack, I was like, Gwen, you see, honestly, what I thought was maybe gonna happen is that maybe Gwen and Jennifer would keep the secret, like she would keep the secret for Jennifer, and they could form a bond in this weird way. You know, especially now that she's been cleared of Abigail's murder. But I think the writers decided not to go that route. And so I just feel like that would have been a good opportunity, because right now that she's been cleared of Abigail's murder, Gwen is starting to lose her traction, her momentum as a character on canvas. And I feel like her just being Jack's daughter is not enough to save her at this point. At least how I feel. But by the way, do you guys remember when Gwen went on a date with JJ? When JJ was her date to the DeMera ball or something like that, and that's when Stefan O. DeMera came. Stefan O. DeMera came. But it was something like that. It was something like that. She went to some ball or something like that. And JJ was her date, even though JJ is her brother. I didn't forget that. You see, I've been paying attention to these details. I pay attention to these details. I pay attention to the deets. To the details. You gotta pay attention to details. Speaking of which, you know, I was talking about Celeste earlier. I would love if they could bring Celeste back on the show. I would love it. I would love Celeste. I'll never forget, there was a, if I could find a clip, I'm gonna put it in here. There was an episode of Days where her and Sam were in the courthouse, the church, and Sam was just like, I gotta get EJ out of my life. And she's like, maybe I could just hide and do all this. And then Celeste was just like, Samantha. you know, Celeste just like, Samantha, there's only one way to get rid of EJ Demera. And she's like, and how do I do that? And she goes, you kill him. And then Sammy's face froze and did the whole little dramatic thing, and then went on the next days of our lives. She goes, you kill him. Samantha, there's only one way to get rid of Elvis. You kill him.
On Days of Our Lives, coming soon.
Forever is what I meant when I put this ring on your finger.
The wedding Sammy's been praying for.
Praying to God that I'm not the father of your child.
But will her prayers be answered?
He's gonna tell Lucas everything.
Get rid of him once and for all.
And how am I supposed to do that?
You kill him.
Days of Our Lives.
Anyways, guys, that's my Days of Our Lives. We can review the terrible twist. What did you guys think of the twist that Clyde was the killer? I thought it was lazy. I'm sorry. I thought that was so lazy. When it comes to, I didn't even touch on Eric and Nicole. Well, there's nothing really to touch on with them right now. There's nothing really to touch on. So I don't really need to touch on them right now. There's nothing to touch on that storyline. But what did you guys think of Clyde the Weston as a killer? I thought it was lazy. I really did. But what did you guys think of the storyline? Or do you think there's more to it than what we know? Because maybe Clyde only stabbed Sonny, but maybe he's not the killer. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Why would Clyde do it? It just doesn't make no sense. And it's not even shocking. That's nothing. It's not even shocking either. It's not even shocking. Okay, like, let's say if like EJ was a killer, it would be shocking, right? But then we would say, okay, why would he do this? It make no sense. But see, this is not shocking and it doesn't make no sense. It's like both. What are you gonna do? Anyways, guys, this is my Days of Our Lives we can review. A terrible twist. This has been DC Social Sanctuary, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Bye.